Good morning, my name is Carla and I work for Assured in-Home Care in Costa Mesa. Today I'd like to talk about the difference between medical services that are provided for family loved ones and then non-medical services. And what traditionally happens to families that are faced with any kind of crisis regarding a loved one is they may have a fall, they may go into the hospital, they may have surgery, they may need skilled nursing, and all of that, you have a very top-down type of model where doctors and nurses and discharge planners are making decisions and then informing loved ones about what's going on with the person who is facing the crisis. And so you have the medical profession that is communicating all of these things to the person who is the advocate for the person in the hospital or in the skilled nursing. And then you're absorbing all of this information, and then the medical profession may say, okay, we're going to discharge your mom or dad and good luck to you. And then all of a sudden the playing field has changed, but nobody's really given the family the tools of where to go. So everything in the medical side is covered under Medicare or insurance, and then all of a sudden families have to deal with a loved one being released home and not having any support at all, and not knowing, well gosh, they can't live alone, and who's going to make their meals, and who's going to do the laundry and provide them, this quality of living. And so that's where the non-medical comes into place. And unfortunately, again, everything under the medical side is covered under insurance, and everything non-medical is not covered under insurance. So families are having to pay out of pocket anywhere from $20 to $25 an hour for caregivers if they don't have people in their family that can do the caregiving. So they have to consider, what are the options? So here are the options. The options are going with a licensed and bonded home care agency, which Assured in-Home Care is, or going the private duty route, which is hiring a caregiver privately. In the state of California, home care never used to be regulated. So prior to 2016, there were no regulations. Assured was always doing things with integrity. We were always background checking people and fingerprinting, but not everybody was. So regulations ultimately, I think, protect consumers from, quote, bad or unethical agencies. And so we went from about 3,000 non-regulated agencies in the state of California prior to 2016, and now we have about 800 because either agencies couldn't afford it, they weren't willing to do all of the things that they were being regulated on. But the wonderful thing about going with a company that you feel comfortable with and that you trust is that you're always going to have the support of a team. You're going to have a home care manager, you're going to have caregivers that are licensed and bonded by the state. Every agency in the state of California can only hire people that have what's called their home care aid number. So it's a community care licensing. It's what has always been, I think, on the medical side, like for skilled nursing facilities and for board and cares, but now home care has to have those same regulations. So people are already vetted when they come to us. So one of the questions I always ask caregivers when they come and apply after having their HCA is, do you love working with older adults? Because if you don't love working with older adults, then it's just not going to work, right? You have to have a love and appreciation for older adults, what they may be struggling with losing their peers, with cognitive issues, with physical ailments, lack of mobility. And so you have to have a high level of empathy. So when you are faced with having to decide what should the best plan be for my parent or my spouse or whoever might be struggling, you want to really ask as many questions as you can. And any person who works for an agency that is willing to offer all of that information and support is a good thing. You don't want to go with an agency that is shrugging you off or not giving you direct and honest answers about what they can provide, what they can't provide, and how they can find the best match for you. So it really is about going with your intuition when you do start talking with home care agencies, and not being afraid to be the best advocate that you can for your loved one at home. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you have any questions, please feel free to call me or email me directly, and I'll be happy to speak with you and provide you with any support and resources that you might need on this journey. Thank you again.